Hi everyone. Hi. Welcome to the show. Glad you could all join us. As you can see, you've got Deb, Dee and myself today, hoping we can wing it and fly by the seat of our pants and get this going for you all. We're just setting up live right now, and we'll be on live with everybody over at the island as soon as possible. It's going to be quite an emotional day. We're all feeling it as we know. So just say, how are you, Dee?
I'm here, and with love in my heart for everyone, and just so glad that we all came together through Toki. And but my heart is heavy. But I'm here today because of the love that she brought together, and that's all of us. And I'm excited about being on today. I'm really excited.
That's great. Thanks for joining us, and thanks so much to Deb Cruz, because for 2 weeks I was worrying that I didn't know which button to hit.
Yeah.
You say,
"Oh wait, Ma, not that one."
Yeah, not that button, Ma. Literally flying by the seat of our pants. But Deb, how are you today?
I'm paying very close attention to what's going out on the island, so I know when to bring them in when they're ready. So they, we've got a couple minutes yet, I guess. So if there's something in particular you said you had some readings or something, or a moment of silence or something along those lines until they get ready to go.
I actually had something that I was reading that popped up on my messages actually from a year ago, and it was August 23rd last year, and it's what I'd written to everyone because I couldn't face going back on social media. But after she passed over, even though I knew it's what she wanted, it was just so heartbreaking for all of us to be so close to getting her home. And I know how hard it hit all of us, but I wanted to read this out just so it resonated with us all about how we were all feeling back then. So I go on to say, firstly, I have to apologise for not replying to your calls and messages just yet. Like you, I needed time to grieve and to try to recover a little. My heart again broken in pieces, and I'm struggling to keep my heart rate down. But today words came through the tears. No space, pure love, no time. The acacia call doors open fully, and its spirit elders, ancestors, guides, family, friends, angels flew in bright white electric light to meet her. Thunder clapped above, our ancestors rejoicing at last. Finally, she decided she was ready, that she could do more from greater realms with the freedom to continue to connect with all of us, to continue to teach us, empower us, to teach humans that which we all knew and bring us all together. This time last week, I'd started to feel very nauseous and didn't want to eat. I immediately thought it was me and one of the medications I'm on for my heart. Thursday was the same. I was physically sick with heart rate up, and there was a strange feeling of overwhelming excitement. Many people surrounded her. How could I have misread the signs? I didn't want to accept it. It wasn't me, it was Toki. She again protected me even in her final hours. In all my physical visits, she took my breath away. Knowing exactly when I would arrive, she knew right away how I felt physically. If I was worried over anything, she knew immediately and would send me instant love and care. Solutions to problems, anything. I would send her Reiki sigils of higher realms for her healing, telling her that I was strong enough for both of us. And then she immediately bounced them back to me. It became quite a game of healing, how she would empathetically tell me everything again and again in the early days, showing me pictures, noises, smells of her home, vibrational, energetic connection. She shows me her family bonds, the scents and smells, the feeling of swimming with her pod through vast gardens of kelp, her longing for the colour of nature, sky blue, ocean green, her wildflowers, longing for the colour of freedom, their beautiful lives in 5D. She has never forgotten then her family and the dreaded capture over and over again, a traumatised child who always forgave. She would flash me images of people she cared for, people she missed, who had visited her, children that had wanted to play, of her trainers who she loved, one of whom I knew immediately when she appeared on TokiTV. I was unable to contain my joy, shouting, it's you, you're the missing piece of the jigsaw puzzle. Toki had shown me her face so often, I knew her voice immediately. It was just wonderful, Marcia, you were with her at the end, and in the last months of her life, she was the happiest I'd ever known her. She would guide me to the people that we had to work with.
Okay. If I can interrupt you.
Okay, no, it's fine.
Here we go.
Yay, Grace.
That we're all gathered here. And for 8 visits to the Whale Stadium. Years before that, going out to Sailor Sea with our late Chief Salute, doing ceremony, feeding live Chinook to Kuthalmachan because they were hungry. The Lactamish people, Indian people, were hungry for salmon. It was a very simple way I began with her. I'm not known as a traditional drummer or singer in my tribe, but because I was only allowed into the Whale Stadium, ancestors said, you have to learn to drum. You have to learn to pray because the drum is the vehicle to carry messages from her people, from ancestors to her, and then from her back to the ancestors and her people. And I would do that every time I go to Wichik and Cherry Point, and I drum and tell her family, I'm going to see your daughter. I'm going to pray with her and bring you the messages, and I'll come back when I'm done, and I'll share them with you. Every time, going, coming back, it helped heal her spirit. We had good vets that healed her heart, but the drum and her people and the ancestors healed her spirit. So this was simply the way I began working with her. This is ancestors' heartbeat. This is Kuthalmachan, your people's heartbeat. This is your heartbeat. This is our heartbeat. We're here because we love you. We're here to bring prayer. We're here to make a promise, and a commitment to you and your people. We'll save salmon. We'll breach the dams. We will save your people. We'll save our relatives. With this is the love in our heart. I, Shawalaman, one heart, one mind. So with this, I'm quiet, and we let those messages transfer to where they're meant to go. So this would be the time that you would send what's in your heart to a loved one, to a Kathalmachan, to her. Lois Hina, Aisha Negrity.
Thank you, Taylor Halo, for that. Thank you. I just want to thank everyone for coming out. And I'm looking out at everybody and seeing all these beautiful faces and some smiles and some tears. And these are all the people that she brought together from all over the place, all over the place. People from Germany here, I'm sure from other areas as well. I'm just going to ask that because she brought you all together, just take a few seconds and look around. Just make eye contact with someone near you. Because every single person that you're looking at has Skelly Chaptana's love, has Toki's love, Toki's big heart. And if there's someone you see you haven't met, later on there will be time for that. Because this is a gathering of hearts, a gathering of family, and it's a family that was put together through her. So I just want to thank you. And all of those I can't see online that I know are watching, you're here too. And I just want you to know that. We're standing here, every single person here has you in their heart as well, because you were connected to her as well. So thank you for watching, thank you for being here. We feel your presence. There'll be more time for that after. But I just thank you guys for taking that minute to look at each other, because I've just been overwhelmed with stuff to do as well. But every time I see someone's eyes have been just running up the hill, I'm like, wow, that's Toki's love right there. Toki's love right there. You know, and so it's going to be beautiful, Michelle. It's just going to be really nice to be with you guys, celebrating her. And someone who's dedicated so many years to helping her family. Doesn't need any introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway because he's my idol and I get to stand with him. Stand with him in solidarity for what we're standing for her future and for her family. So, Howard Garrett.
I wish I could say something so beautiful as you right now, and Rosie has said. One year ago, in Miami, Toki, her last blow, her heart ceased. And at that exact time, at that same moment, the L12s, L-pod, sub-pod, afterline that we believe she was born in was here. People want to watch from the sky, from the water. But that was highly unusual. At least for the last 20 years, especially L-pod, that sub-pod of L-pod has not been coming in. But it was very kind of comforting to share our grief with her family. It just seemed right, it seemed appropriate. But it was also kind of fascinating because did they know? Did they know her? It just makes you kind of wonder. And you know, you can't just write it off that it couldn't be because We don't know. We don't know a lot of things. And you can't just say they didn't know her because, well, for one thing, orcas are really precocious at a very young age. After 18 months in the womb, and the last about half of that, they're listening in to all their families' chatter and conversations and learning the language. And they are born very well developed and are very independent at about one. They stay with their mothers their entire lives, but they're very well formed. They're individuals. They're members. They're known by their families at a very young age. And we don't know exactly what age she was taken. About 4 is our best guess. But she would have been a fully developed member of her family at that time. And we also have to consider that there is only one who was present at the captures who is still alive, L-25, Ocean Sun. She was here that day. She was here, kind of off by herself a lot of the time, acting as if she knew. So that's really hard to put together and understand how that could possibly be. But, you know, sometimes you just have to follow your curiosity. In the early 1950s, there was a Harvard biologist who couldn't understand how bats could possibly fly around in pitch black caves and not bump into the walls. Nobody knew how they did that. So he had to invent a machine that would actually record ultrasound that we can't hear to show that they're using what he called echolocation. And that's why we call it echolocation today in dolphins. He followed his curiosity and found a capability that nobody knew they had. And I'm telling you, I'm really curious about how those whales happened to be here on that day. This is a very special place. The west side of San Juan Island has great cultural significance for the orcas. This is their best foraging, their gathering place, their place for reunions, for superpods. So it's a very special place for them to come together, and they came together here that day. And it's very intriguing. But then I remembered the day before, that Thursday before the Friday that she passed, when they all came in, except for the L-54s, the subpod that sometimes isn't with the rest of the family. They weren't seen that day, but otherwise, about 70 orcas were right here along the west side the day before. And Toki was in severe distress at that time. She had been hurting for two days, losing strength, losing the ability to stay upright, to breathe, and to stay alive. And somehow, they were here. And they were behaving in a way that, as I said, I had never seen before. I happened to watch it live from the webcam on that lighthouse. And for the half an hour that I saw, of what now I've found went on for at least 2 hours, maybe 2.5 or 3 hours, that they were right here, within a couple of 100 yards of the lighthouse. And they were, it wasn't the usual kind of socializing, you know, cuddle, group growth, whatever you want to call it, when they get together and it's a super pod and they're all kind of snuggly and having fun. It wasn't that. It was more kind of individual writhing at the same pace, but not really interacting that much. It was just really unusual, really strange. Before I knew what was going on in Miami, I was watching that, wondering, what is that? I've never seen orcas behave that way before. So I thought it was just really strange. Did they know? Do they know her? We don't know the ability of them, of orcas, to be able to tell stories. They sure have memories. You know that much. Can they share them? Could the L-25 Ocean Sun have told the others that story of that capture, that loss of Toki and so many others? Could that have been told to the family? It sure seems like it. It seems like they knew and they were grieving. And all of that just reaffirms for me the meaning of fulfillment. It's a beautiful word. I'm not saying it right, I'm sure, but as I understand, fulfillment means our relations who live under the waves. That's how I feel about Toki and her family. There are relations who live under the waves.
I want to introduce myself appropriately. Stila Hela Senesna, Raynell Morris, Chakunisa. Good afternoon. I am so proud to be here to share her love because she's shared it with all of you. I am Lactamish, I'm from the Lummi Nation, and I was so honored to be the one that was chosen by ancestors as a sacred obligation to help heal her spirit, that they trusted in me, they guided me. Some of you know me, sometimes I'm not the easiest person, but ancestors stuck with me and just kept guiding me, and I just kept doing the best that I could for years. They were working with me to do this work for her family, for salmon, for my people, for Lactamish people, for indigenous people, for all people. Like Rosie said, there's no color. So the work is just beginning. It's important for Skelly Chaksanot, her life of 54, 55 years in that whale hole. It was an honor to be a part of her healing of her spirit. It was an honor to see her by the 7th ceremony. It was June of 2023. She was happy. She had begun stretcher training. She was just so full of spirit. And after I did ceremony, I would drum and do that chant. I brush her with cedar boughs. It's sacred to us. It removes anything from you that shouldn't be there. So I would do that with her. But then by the second visit, Leahy was popping up and he's going, I'm here. He was a 40-year-old gentleman, white-sided dolphin that was her family as long as they were together. And I started drumming and brushing Leahy off. And even when she passed, I still went back to the whale bowl and prayed with Leahy and let him know she's gone on. Ancestors called her home and she willingly went. You're here, Leahy. You've got family. It's not your time. It's okay to swim fast. It's okay to be happy. He had a mate, he had a son. So his life went on, but it was difficult for him because he spent weeks alone after she passed. He witnessed that. You know, scientists aren't going to agree, but as people, we know they have feelings. They know they have a soul, they have a spirit. They were connected. He was grieving. And so by drumming and praying with him and letting him know it's his time to move on, it's okay. She's watching you. And I happen to believe her first sacrifices for her family saved all 500 plus marine mammals at Miami Sea Aquarium. Because guess what happened? 8 months or so after her death, Miami-Dade canceled that lease. They terminated, said no more. You mistreated the animals enough, you didn't take care of them. You haven't proven that you're a good steward. We're canceling the lease. I believe, and many of us do, that she was part of that. That was part of her sacrifice to save those that were still there because she cared. She still cares. She's a spirit guide up there. Many of you still talk with her, connect with her. She comes through in gardens. She comes through in the water. She comes through in the wind. However you've made that connection, your love is still there. It's just at a different energy level now. So to gather here in her honor, we weren't able to do that at Lummi. Because at that week that we were doing her homecoming and celebration of life, our community experienced 7 deaths in 1 week. And it wasn't time for celebration. And so we did the work traditionally and took her ashes back out to the Saley Sea. What you see here is her cremation box that was created by Eduardo Alvaro with the Dolphin Company. He called and said, what do you want? You know, he's real elaborate, real flamboyant. He goes, you could do gold biz. And I said, no, that's not her. It's not like Amish people. We don't do gold stuff like that. She wants to be honored in the best way, which is white wood. That's it. That's her people. And that's what they did honor it. There's no gold in her box. But what they did do is they took the picture of her exact tail and it's on the top. When we brought her home, Councilwoman Rosa Reedy Jacobs from the Lummi Nation, representing the elected people, the council met and they delegated and I to go back to the Georgia crematory to bring our relative home in the traditional way. That box held 300 pounds of her ashes. There's still some ashes in there because we did put a majority of them back into the sea. So because her people, her relatives, the Lummi Nation, the Lactamish people, was in their heart to take care of her and bring her home, no matter how, not the way we meant, not the way we wanted, not the way we visioned, but it was the work to do, was to bring her home, and we did. And I want to stand Councilwoman Reedy Jacobs up here to thank her. Please come forward. Deborah, Annette, will you help me? Our way, when we want to honor someone of high esteem, we wrap them in a blanket of love and respect for everything they did, everything she did in their life. Hi, Cecilia. Hi.
To hurt.
We hope this pathology blanket is a symbol of her love and respect for you. And because we weren't able to gather as a group and pay the love and respect that she deserves for her sacrifices, I got permission to bring her cremation box here. And now would be the time that we're we're going to invite you, if you're so moved, to take a flower or some cedar and put it on our box with your intentions. And later, when Rosie does the salmon ceremony to bring the salmon to the water, we'll bring the cedar and the flowers back to the water in her name. Deborah, hold the flowers too, please. Hold the flowers by her cremation box and we'll invite people to come take one. Put one on.
Hey, Scott. You notice the fog moved in. Behind the fog hill there was our ancestors. All of our ancestors. All of our tribal ancestors. All of our Asian ancestors. All of our Hawaiian ancestors. All of the world ancestors. Many came to join us behind that fog. And as the time went on, the fog came closer. Because the fog wanted to acknowledge, ancestors wanted to acknowledge their children. So you're being acknowledged today. Like, okay. You want to introduce me? Who's standing up? Who's standing up?
Thank you everyone and thank you for allowing her information box to come here, and thank you for bringing that. Next up is Christania Rosie James, and she's going to be leading everyone in a salmon ceremony. And I feel very grateful to have Rosie here and prepping last night. Again, Toki's heart is shining through everybody. So Rosie James, come up.
Christania. Oh, but it don't stay. That's okay. Can everybody hear me? My daughter, I've been working with Cindy for quite some years now. I met her in the basement of the Well Museum years ago before she transferred to Orca Network. Well, today is not only about us. Today is all about us. It's every way you look at it. But it's also about Jim Waddell and Howard's brother, Ken Balcom. Ken Balcom, Howard's here, please raise your hand. Howard is Ken's brother, and I believe that Kelly's here somewhere. Please raise your hands. This is Ken's son. They worked very hard to be a part of today. The gratitude is ours for you to be still here to help us with this day. And also for the Lummi tribe and Coast Salish tribe that prayed as hard as we did for her to come. carpool all the way to Pond is fun. Well, Dad was happy. Sometimes I stand back with that story and wait for approval from the ancestors to share. But it is meant to lift your heart. We have to, at some point, that's why we our good sisters and our needs come from Lami and help us lift our heart and feel. Toki won't want us to be sad. Letting go of some of the grief. That's part of your healing. Anyways, I asked my dad, so you went out and about, where'd you go, huh? Who can say out and about, where'd you go? Out and about, where'd you go? I don't listen.
Out and about in a boat with a goat.
Yeah. Okay, Cindy's leading the ceremony. I'm planning on not being here forever. So Cindy's been training for years since I met her in the basement. And that basement was the Whale Museum here in Friday Harbor. That was when she was a little girl. And then she moved on with Howard and Susan to Orca Network. So then I'll pass this here on to Cindy so she can explain what the rest of the ceremony is.
Hi, Shara Rosie, and hi, Shara right now. Thanks everybody for being here. So I'm very honored not only to be the bonus daughter or the bonus niece, but to have been one of the people entrusted in preparing the salmon for the salmon ceremony. So for those of you who may not have participated in the salmon ceremony before, the way that this will work, the salmon is up on a table on the path that goes down to the water. We have a team of people on the rocks who will put the salmon into the water. So what we'll do is, as soon as Rosie is ready for us, she will drum and sing. And anybody who wants to witness the salmon ceremony, you can walk by the table and bless the salmon as you go by. Hold your hand over it, say some prayers, your thoughts, your hopes and dreams for Southern residents, whatever's in your heart. You can say it out loud, you can think it, but just kind of bless that salmon as you go by. And then there is a basket with some cedar. So if you'd like to take a sprig of cedar, and then you can throw that in the water during the ceremony. So when Rosie is ready for us, we will go ahead and file down there. You can walk by the salmon, grab your cedar, and then we'll ask you to kind of stand off the side a little bit, make sure that you can see the water, and then we're going to have Howard and Annette bringing the salmon down the path and handing it over to people. So whenever everybody's ready, we can kind of gather over by the table and we'll get started.
Okay, the ceremony is starting. I'm just moving in position.
Yes.
What? Oh, okay. Would you like to grab one of the...
Are you going to sing and drum? Yeah. So I'm going to go over to the table and get people.
Okay, Susan.
Bill, Bill, can you get me a pop? What's in that cooler? Back.
Are you? You're training right now.
eats the salmon, if you build up and impact the entire food web and make its way to your family. And it's carrying all of the hopes and dreams and wishes and carrying out into the market and it brings this salmon is going to feed the spirit not only of Toki that we talked about, but of the entire southern residents. So whatever eats it, it will build up and make its way into the food web and eventually make its way to TokiTV. So it's carrying the hopes and dreams and wishes of everyone who blessed it.
The young man in the paddleboard this is his ancestor waters as well as my own. Last year we had help feeding the waters in Howard. Explain what was waiting out here last year.
It's right, a sea lion came in and helped to take care of the fish. Immediate return to ecosystem.
You're welcome to find a safe place for your cedar boughs, or you're welcome to bring it home. If you have a book or a memoir, journal, you want to put it in there, or you can bring it home, or you can find a safe place to let it go. Now, let's hope they find a way back in. They had help going out. Let's all raise our hands to Aaron and Josiah. And our group has a special dance that they're going to share with you that they all practiced last night. And it's a fun one, so we can start with laughter, start the healing with laughter. They were pretty good last night.
I just
I want to give my thanks and gratitude to Rosie and Bill and to Annette and Raynell for getting us all through this last year. Especially Rosie and Bill. I don't know how many ceremonies on how many islands we did between the time that Toki died until now that have helped so many people heal. And every place we had a ceremony, there were people who came intentionally to come to heal, and people who just happened to be there that became part of Toki's tribe. And I just, there are no words that you have helped us through the most difficult year. And I just thank you all so much. I don't know what we would have done without you. And thank you for today, all of you. And thanks to everyone. Many of you traveled so far to be here. Thank you. If I could have Joe and Aaron say a couple words.
Well, thank you, Aishka. It's an honor of sending Toki's beautiful blessing and present out. Beautiful salmon. Nice to get salty. So, thank you.
Yeah, it was an absolute honor to see Toki today. Her favorite food. We were honoring all the patrols today and with her life, along with her relatives, all the seeds today. It was definitely an honor. Thank you.
So Josiah is from these waters. These people who passed away. This is where they had their gathering in San Juan Island, as well as our local tribe, the Lime Kiln and the Salmon. And Vancouver Islanders all did their gatherings on these islands. So this is the first time to have somebody right from this water to feed the spirits. Like Cindy said earlier, the spirits will be fed, honored and fed through anything that consumes it. Maybe it's going to be a tiny little crab. Maybe it's going to be a million tiny little crabs. Maybe it's going to be just a huge seal like we had last year, like Howard explained to you. But this is a part of our healing. We need to remember that If we don't let her go, she can't get comfortable. If we keep sadness for her, then she can't be happy for us. She can't be happy for herself or her spirit. Today was a good day to die for her a year ago. We were not here, we were not present, but our spirit was. Our bodies weren't. Howard was here and accepted her, received her spirit as she come out here to play with her family the day before she quit breathing. She hadn't even quit breathing yet, and her spirit came home, and Howard witnessed that. So I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank little Rosie and Raynell for and for escorting her home, her remains home. Now she knows where her remains are. She will not be concerned about now. Today she let go. These year may continue. We don't know. We haven't had a discussion about that. It would be nice to get together just to share the healing, see how far we've progressed, see how much we've let go. Real important to let go. It was hard for me to let Ken and Jim Waddell go. They're here today. They came and joined us. Ken's son's here. Ken's brother's here. And Jim Waddell, he was here last year. And it wasn't long after he left here, then we lost him. And later on, if you'd like to know who Jim Waddell was, you can talk to Howie. You can talk to Ken. Aishka. Anybody would like to say anything, go ahead and say it now. You can wait till we get up there. And we'll do a little bit mingling. And then we're going to have a little bit break fry bread. That's the only way I can say it. Right, shall we go break fry bread? And I hope there's enough fry bread for each of us, because then we'd have a fry bread uprising if we don't. We'd have to break them in half, and nobody wants to break their fry bread in half.
Not sharing my fry bread.
And is there any vegetarians here?
Vegan.
How many vegan, vegetarian? Oh, go ahead. One more speech. Speech.
But you don't get to have any fry bread until you write a letter to President Biden. I have a table set up right by the food. You need to write a letter to President Biden asking him to breach the dams this year, and we'll send them. So we need to breach the dams. We need to honor Toki and her family. So please.
What about President Kamala?
She's well, yeah. But he's still the president now.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm getting ahead of myself.
he has a chance. His legacy. He has an amazing legacy to leave behind. So I think he's going to do it. But we need your help. We need everyone's help to write a handwritten. Doesn't have to be long, but it needs to be handwritten to send to breach the dams. Okay. So thank you. And you get fry bread.
Okay, before your fry bread, I just want to acknowledge that there's 168 people watching online right now, wanting to be here with us. So if you guys don't mind to stand in for them real quick and just face the water and raise your hands. This is for everyone who's joining us from other places. I'm going to come back here so we can see all the people. Thank you guys for joining us from wherever you are. We love you. We know you love her. And everybody here is standing in for you. Sending your love out to the water from here. Thank you, everyone. Now we can go eat fried bread.
Did you want to?
Annette,
Oops.
thank you so much.
Did you want to say some parting words, Mandy?
I just want to say thanks so much for joining us. It means so much. It was just so emotional and so full of love, just like Toki.
I don't know why you're muting us. We want to say hi to you guys.
And remember, you're not here in presence, but you can still
I thought you were gone.
send your messages to President Biden. You'll learn about it here and through TokiTV.
Yep.
We've got to do this.
Yeah,
We will. We will do this.
Thank you, Peggy. Hi.
Hi,
And Bill, our
everyone.
fabulous drummer, Bill.
Oh, thank you, Bill.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Maria's here. Say hi to Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Erin. Hey, Heather. Heather's here. I'm going to hug Heather, so the camera's going to get weird for a second. Saw the camera go. There you are. All right, guys. Thank you. We're going to go ahead
Beautiful
and sign off.
ceremony.
It's kind of it for the ceremony, but I'm going to leave you with the view for a minute.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Beautiful ceremony.
Just it. Thanks so much, everyone.
All in love.
Yeah.
All
Let's
in love.
take their family and breach those dams. Get right in those letters. Don't give up on it. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
All in love.
Bye.
Right.
Love you guys.
Love you.